Hello, good evening, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, LA by Night. Thank you, family, for joining us in this, our 5th season. Tonight, we are bringing you Season 5, Episode 3, The Night Flowers. Let's meet some of our night flowers.
Hello, I'm Becca Scott, playing Chloe. Recently, not so recently, turned into a ghoul.
And I'm Alex Ward, and I play Jasper the Nosferatu.
Additional night flowers, which is to say vampires, will be joining us later, including Josephine McAdam and Shayne Eastin at dramatically appropriate moments. Many vampire stories are about romance. Romance isn't just about attraction, however. It's not about falling for someone so hard it hurts. It's not just about denying the predator's true nature or seducing victims in the name of love. It's not about anything so much as it's about raw emotion, and about how two or more individuals build on their feelings to experience true moments of intimacy and emotional integrity. It is also about the consequences of desire and the lengths to which we would go to obtain it or defend it. Underneath it all, turbulent emotions fulfill and shatter dreams. Emotions a kindred can no longer feel. Or can they? Is love the sole province of the living? Or is it something else, something more, something so powerful that it can transcend the vampiric condition? With these questions firmly in mind, let's tell a vampire story. The scene tonight is Griffith Park. We've been here before, many times in this story. So let us refresh our memories about what this place is. At one level, it's a giant park, arguably the biggest urban park in the world, depending on whose facts you believe. About 4,000 acres of rugged wooded hills at the east end of the Santa Monica Mountains. A popular tourist destination in the daytime. There's a zoo, museums, hiking trails, an amphitheater, the Hollywood sign, and of course, the observatory. But all these places of interest to the daylight world are situated around the park's border. The interior of the park is surprisingly rugged and remote. There are caves carved into canyons, sheer cliffs, twisting trails, dense woods, and craggy peaks. All of it barely more than a mile from the freeways, and yet seemingly a world away. We mentioned the observatory, and that's where we are tonight. We've been here before, too. It's at the top, the very top of Mount Hollywood, appropriately enough. It's a beautiful Art Deco buildings with statues and large domes and a stone wall, all protecting its array of precious telescopes. It's the very best place to see a panoramic view of the City of Angels. From up here, you can see almost the entire city, a vast, glittering net of lights, reflecting with an eerie glow off tonight's unusual, rare, overcast sky. If we look to our right, seemingly so close we could reach out and touch them, we see the shining white letters of the iconic Hollywood sign, a place with special significance for some of our coterie. If we look far to the west, we would see a vast swath of inky blackness, the Pacific Ocean, stretching out beyond the horizon. Locals and tourists like to visit on nights that are clear when you can see the stars, to view the heavens through the telescopes in the planetarium. But it's after closing hours now. It's late, and there are only 2 visitors.
Thank you for meeting me.
You're welcome. It's not a problem at all. How are you?
Things are going well. Very well. And I want you to know I won't be asking this of you forever. I will find my own means eventually.
That's fine. It's... What you're doing is complicated. It's hard to do on your own. I get it. And it's something I'm good at. So... I mean, I know you know, but... what you're doing is dangerous, and... what I do is dangerous in kindred society, and... I mean, you'll be careful, I know you will.
I don't need to be lectured by you, Jasper.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
Of course what you're doing is dangerous. I mean, that's what makes life interesting, or unlife, whatever it is for you.
Yeah. It is certainly interesting. You know, I haven't been up here since, well, I haven't really looked at that sign in a long time, and it really has a different meaning now.
What are you feeling?
It's just after... I guess the Hollywood sign has a different feel to it once you've been strung up on it. It's a different... It's like looking at a stake you were about to be burned on. It's not as pretty anymore.
What could also be a symbol of your power for what you've overcome.
If you want to look at it that way, sure.
Everything is a lesson.
Yeah.
Everything is helping us grow in power, in strength. And for me, what I'm doing, I mean, this is the mission that I always knew I was called to help people. I just didn't know that they'd be this kind of people.
Right. No, and, I didn't know I'd be doing this either.
I appreciate everything. I mean, I know diablerie is kind of its own risk, but providing me vitae to free ghouls from their captors.
Well, I'd rather you be doing this than be, bonded to someone. It, usually doesn't end well for the one being bonded.
I just want to say I appreciate you. I know you say that your humanity is gone, but I see it in the favors that you do for me.
I appreciate someone seeing me like that.
I see you how you always were. You're the same Jasper to me.
Thanks.
Although, when you look into my eyes, it definitely feels different.
Yeah, I get that. It's a different face, and
It's not a bad thing. It took getting used to.
yeah, it took getting used to me too. What I don't know.
I'm nervous too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is so. A meeting like this, and just so sporadically. I mean, we
Yeah.
can see each other for more than just the transfer of vitae, if you wanted to.
That's that's a very nice prospect, considering the people I generally spend time with. That sounds a lot simpler and nicer. And I think it would probably... The less contact I have with you while I'm doing this for you is probably best.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, of course. I mean, for both of us,
Yeah.
it's better. And for everyone I'm trying to help. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just... Okay, if we can talk about work for a moment. It's so frustrating when you try and convince someone to do something that is the best for them, and yet they make the choice that keeps them in bondage over and over again.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I could just erase so many vampires so their ghouls could be free.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that fact. It's part of why I live the way I do. I would rather feed on my own kind than kill people just to live. And once you're like me, you're not really a person anymore.
What is a person anyway? I think you found your own way to exist and make things better.
Hopefully. It's, the people who are actually making legitimate change around here are all seeming to be moving their own ways and pulling apart. And I don't really want to put them back together. You know, Victor being Baron of that, and Nellie being Baron of that, and Annabelle fucking off to wherever she went. It's, I think it's better that way, honestly. We never really got along in the first place, and then Annabelle kind of grouped us all together, and then that went gangbusters.
She promised she would protect me.
Yeah, I know.
So much for that.
Yeah, she tends to promise a lot.
And then there's X.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be afraid to see him or if I'm beneath his notice.
Both, honestly.
Huh.
He's, lost inside of himself. And, he doesn't really recognize anyone anymore.
So why do you let him keep existing?
Because I can't do it. He was the only person who was really my friend when I started all this, and I don't want to do it.
Some part of you believes he could be the friend again.
I hope so. So I'm just trying to stop him for doing anything too terrible and finding a way to fix the problem without having to end the problem.
He was my only friend for a long time, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry you felt like I disappeared. I didn't mean for that to be the case, and I'm surprised bad at communicating.
Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't even bring that up since it drove me insane.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
We don't need to go there.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
But you're here for me now.
Yeah.
You really mean... You mean it when we say... I mean, when you say, we shouldn't be we should be... This is the only place we can meet?
May not be the only place, but it seemed like the safest, and no one comes up here.
That's not what I meant.
Oh. Yeah, look, Chloe, you meant the world to me for a long time.
Call me an archangel.
Yeah, sorry.
I like it better.
Archangel.
Mm.
You meant the world to me for a long time, and I thought that had been taken away from me, and I don't know what to do with that now that you're looking at me and being here. I think I've kind of become something that can't do that anymore.
I understand it can't be like it was. Neither of us are who we were. But I understand, and I respect your boundaries.
I have to... I would have to think about it. I don't know what the future is going to bring. And there's a lot happening right now that might go very badly for everyone involved. And
what are you talking about?
it's the state of vampire politics and the things that are happening.
It's always the same. Everyone's vying for power. Everyone's killing everyone.
Technically, as far as I'm aware, there's still a blood hunt on me, so that's fun.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Well, there was one, and then Vannevar went.
Right.
And now that he's waking up again, it might come back. I don't know, maybe he forgot. Maybe I'm not important enough. Maybe now with everybody hunting for Therese, it'll all slide under the rug.
There's always room for negotiation.
Well, you don't refuse the prince's sheriff request without consequences.
I see. By the way, I mean, I wasn't saying that this offer will be around forever if you take forever to make a decision. You know, the Archangel network is growing every day.
I'm sure, and you'll meet some amazingly handsome ghoul, and...
I don't know if I'll have time for him, because...
I mean, that's fair. That's very fair.
I'm expanding to other cities, maybe.
Are you?
Thought, well, not yet, but, you know, it's in the plan, the grander plan for the network. So I could be very busy, and...
I'm really proud of you.
You know, I always have to have a mission.
Yeah, it's just... You handled what happened to you so much better than I did. And you made something out of it.
Maybe I'm just stronger.
That's not news to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Katya, how are you getting here?
We're taking my Cadillac. I'm driving.
Is it vintage?
No, it's brand new.
So, a single vehicle crests the hill that's the line of demarcation between the driveway leading up through the park and into the parking lot of the observatory. All you can see from your vantage point as you turn and look behind at the parking lot in front of the building are the headlights.
You weren't expecting anybody, were you?
No. You?
No. That's upsetting.
Are you armed?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Good.
You find a convenient parking spot. In fact, you have your pick, as there is no one else here at this late hour.
Oh, I pull right up front.
Right up front to the building itself.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
Do you know how much I care for you?
I know. I've always known.
Let's... I exit the car.
I as well.
Do I take it that you are proceeding hand in hand toward the building?
Yes.
Well, you don't need heightened senses or wits in an awareness roll to recognize who they are.
Shit. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Hartwood.
Hello.
And see, Chloe is here as well.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh, the famous Chloe. You... This is... Oh.
I haven't had the pleasure.
This would be Katya. This is Eva's sire.
And it is indeed a pleasure. Thank you. I think I owe you my life. Indirectly, of course.
Considering that Eva saved her life.
You saved Chloe's life.
She didn't tell you. That's funny.
It wasn't dealing with the Second Inquisition before I came back.
And she is your...
Friend.
Associate?
I'm sorry, are we interrupting a date?
Not particularly. But I'm curious just what you're doing here. Considering I thought you'd never want to see me again.
She is his ex-leftover girlfriend, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
And he tricked you into saving her? Just so we can come back to this?
Sure, why not? I tricked her into saving her.
You're not making a great first impression.
Yeah, she doesn't do that. First impressions. In fact, we get to like third and then she's okay, but the first two are rough.
I'm just asking questions.
Sure
I
you
am
are.
no one's leftover.
I believe those were his words.
Doesn't sound like me.
Oh,
Well, this will make this easier. If it wasn't clear by my absence and my movement in the city,
Yeah.
I just want it to be known that what short folly we may have had together is in the past.
Oh. Yeah, no, I kind of figured, seeing as you left, are doing that, and joined the Camarilla, I kind of thought it would make, us dating a little difficult. So I kind of got there on my own time. It would have been nice if you had told me before you did it, though. I thought maybe I meant a little bit to you. But it looks like I was also being used just as much as everybody else uses me.
You were a distraction.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could distract you.
I'm sorry, it's taken a while. I've been indisposed.
I'm sure being indisposed has been nice for you.
you better believe it.
Is there anything I can help you with, seeing as you drove all the way up here just to find me? I assume you weren't just breaking up with me after a long car drive.
We actually just left one of your friends.
I don't have many of those. Who, you have to be specific who you're talking about.
Victor Temple was visiting with our prince.
And I'm sure he made a lot of declarations to his pal.
Oh, you know him very well, I see. We're trying to find out some information about the Thin Bloods.
Yes.
Do you happen to know anything?
About Thin Bloods.
Where they gather, perhaps?
Their
Yes.
whereabouts.
They seem to be, taking a lot of us out. Anarch,
Sad.
Cam. Doesn't matter.
Well then, I feel like I should be thanking them. Anarch, Camarilla, they're full of the same non-people. I thought you in the Camarilla didn't want anything to do with the Thin Bloods, considering they are the harbingers of Gehenna and all the terrible doom and gloom that you think is coming down upon us. So why do you need to find all of them?
To fucking stop them.
Oh, and all their hipster plans. Look, I don't know where they hang out. I don't have anything to do with them. Baron Temple is the one who welcomes all the Thin Bloods into the valley and says there's a place for them. And Annabelle was the one who wanted to protect them. I just got caught in their wake.
Do you know where Annabelle is?
No, haven't heard from her in over a year.
What would you want with her?
Oh, she's protecting them. Presumably she must know where they are. But, Chloe, what do you know?
I'm just a simple being with little to offer. Unless, of course, you'd like to set up an arrangement as well.
As well? What arrangement would that be?
I buy and trade. Invite. for information.
Now, it's funny, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's been a problem with your vitae recently, hasn't there? If I remember correctly.
I enjoyed it.
It doesn't have the same oomph that it used to. That's too bad. It makes it very valuable in this line of work.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'm sure you're not.
We all know what we're not saying here.
Are you still seeking to become one of us?
Well, that's an interesting question. Yes, there was a time when I would have given anything to be like you. But now I think I'd do anything to stay like me.
What risk you pose on yourself in this lifestyle?
I'm not hurting anyone. Not bothering anyone.
And what of the ghouls you are freeing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you have a problem with what she's doing, then you have a problem with what all Nosferatu do, which is trade in information.
What kind of trade are we talking about here?
I'm just looking for simple vitae. No strings, no bonds, which shouldn't be an issue for a Tremere like yourself. Didn't mean to strike a nerve.
And what would you give us?
An agreement that information comes to you among the first. Things you want found out. I can be your eyes and ears.
Eva will walk over and behind Chloe if no one stops her. And what method do you prefer?
Katya runs over to Eva. What are you doing?
I could take care of that. I collect.
Well, hold on. Given the special circumstances of Tremere blood, I'm vitae. The traditional way could be fun.
I'm securing information for
Let
us.
her make her own choices, Katya.
I believe the reason you like her so much is that she's so much her own person. Be ashamed to take that away from her.
Don't do it. Don't trust them.
Yes, because I'm the untrustworthy one.
I will not give it, but if she drinks of me, then the risk is low. Let us make this exchange so that we may have information that we need when the time comes.
Oh, this would just be for fun. I mean, I would need supplies to sort of, save it.
What if she has nothing? What if it is nothing?
That's a risk you take.
What I don't have now, I have my ways of finding for you.
They're really cute together, actually.
It's funny, It was, as you said, a nice distraction, but I always kind of had it in the back of my head that we got along better. There's so little you can do to hurt me, Katya. It's amazing.
I hate you
I know.
for how much you hurt my child.
I definitely hurt her. That is the story.
How much you put her in danger.
Yeah.
Following around a man with no king-becoming graces. Listening to his pompous rhetoric.
I mean, I don't disagree with your evaluation of the Baron. I don't particularly like him either, but you know what's nice about following someone like him? Is people leave you alone when you want them to. And you get to do what you want when no one needs you. And you don't have a huge tower sitting on top of you that controls your every action and every way of your life. You can just be. And then find what's worth living for. It's nice.
The tower is not on top of us.
Isn't it, though?
We are inside the tower for safety with the world crumbling around you.
My world's crumbling a lot more since the Camarilla showed up than it ever was.
Since the Camarilla showed up?
Yeah. You didn't used to be here, you know that, right? Or is your version of history different? Because you were gone for a long time, and then Vanavar decided...
Your world has always been crumbling around you because you've always been...
What? What have I always been? What has this 8-year-old vampire always been?
You've always been a piece of shit.
Well, I don't disagree. Is there anything else I can help you with while you're here?
While they are shouting at each other, I will slip and whisper into Chloe's ear.
Still standing behind her.
Yes. You can come to me for whatever blood you may need. You do not need to sully yourself by dealing with these other kindred.
I am honored by you. And I would love to fulfill that offer.
And Eva just steps back and...
I'm so sorry, darling. But you are in a much better place now.
Yes, I am.
It's all right.
Well, there's nothing else I can do for you. I think you can probably get back in your fancy car.
Chloe, is there anything else you need?
I'll be in touch. How can I contact you?
Why don't I find you?
Might be harder than you think. I slip her a card. It's the one I give to any ghoul I find with a phone number.
This'll do. You're sure you don't want to taste?
If you're offering. And I take your own wrist and put it to your mouth so you can open it for me.
And Eva does so. She bites.
Using your own fangs, you pierce the flesh of your wrist and will the vitae to the surface of your skin. Jasper and Katya can smell it instantly, of course.
And I sort of like waft it in front of Jasper as I reach to Chloe.
I look into your eyes before I drink.
And as she drinks, savors the impossibly delicious vitae. Jasper, make a rouse check.
I succeed.
You feel the beast flex in your gut, urging you to act. Of course, you tamp down on the impulse and remain in control. Eva, make a rouse check.
Fail.
She took a little bit more than you thought she would.
Oh, pardon me. And I look straight at Katya. Thank you.
Of course.
You know, Katya, you should smile more. Eva likes people who smile.
How would you know? It's okay.
I promised I would let this be a peaceful goodbye.
It's probably a good idea.
As you are preparing to make your way back to your Cadillac, multiple things happen at once. The side emergency door of the observatory, perhaps 10 or 15 yards away from where you all stand saying farewell, opens abruptly, and silhouetted figures begin to exit. You don't need special powers or any kind of roles to identify immediately that several of them, 4 or 5, perhaps more, are wearing what can only be body armor, except one of them, who walks in the lead. This figure wears some sort of strange hoodie that conceals the upper part of their face. They wear dark fatigues, boots. The figure with the hood speaks. It's green, but there's 2 more. Shift, shift, shift. From over the driveway hill, headlights. You've been in this situation before, Jasper, in this very spot.
Yeah.
Vehicles approaching.
I
Yeah, what's your intention?
knee-jerk reaction. Weather Witch, send a gust of wind as strong as I can to the people who exited the observatory.
So you need to make a roll for that.
Got it, yeah. 7. I'm at 2 hunger. Oops. 4 successes.
4 successes. From absolutely nowhere, a strong gust of wind, brief but powerful, gale force wind, issues from Katya's outstretched hands. Where are you directing it?
At the men who walked out of the observatory, I'm trying to knock over their...
At the figures coming out of the observatory. The winds smash into them. The hooded figure does fall backwards. The armored figures stumble backwards. Some of them hit the wall of the observatory. One actually falls in the doorway. They seem to be stunned and confused. Somebody from among that pile of armored attackers, not the hooded figure, says, Okay, got a witch, go.
I would like
What's your intention, Eva?
to use movement of the mind and move Chloe back behind any cover I may see.
Well, there's a statue of famous astrologers tall enough to conceal her.
Sure, let's do that.
Chloe doesn't have to be moved if she doesn't want to be moved, as the invisible hand force begins
Chloe?
to move her, push her.
As soon as you turn to look, she has already jumped down behind the edge of the wall protecting the observatory and pulled out her weapon.
So you're, do I understand then that you are on the cliff side?
Yeah, like amongst the small trees there.
The scrub brush,
slope,
the stunted tree growth,
I have
tall
also
grass.
gone over there as well.
Well,
You
if
as
they're
well.
not there.
But
The effort is...
she has moved. You can still try to move her against her will if you want to. I'm going to
No.
call that a contested roll if that's what you would like
The
to
intention was to get her behind cover, so if I see that she is safe, I will instead move myself behind cover.
do. From your new vantage point, behind the cover, but near the edge of the long sloping fall down towards the canyon below, you see something you did not expect to see. It's mist. It's fog, some sort of vapor, and it's creeping up the slope toward the observatory from someplace in the canyon below. And it isn't white or gray like ordinary mist. It is red, unnaturally red.
That's not supposed to happen.
Jasper, wits and awareness, please.
Two successes.
You hear something in the mist, or coming from the mist, perhaps. It's distant. It's on the very edge of your perception. It sounds like wailing and keening and cries of anguish.
That's something we should touch.
Meanwhile, back at the doorway, the armored figures are sorting themselves out, and several more have emerged. It's not easy to count them as they are in motion. The hooded figure has picked itself up off the ground. She stretches out her own hand toward Katya. I know what this figure is going to do. What's your intention, Katya, at this point?
I see the hooded figures start to reach their hand out towards me. I force bolt at them.
Force bolt from you.
And
Emma,
I'm
what
gonna
will your
rouse.
intention be?
I
So
will.
hold your rolls for now. I'm just curious about your
Yes.
intention.
I would, if I saw that. Now, you know what? I'm making my way to join wherever.
You are leaving Katya's side and making your way towards Jasper and Chloe?
Yes.
See? Jasper, what is your intention?
Jasper says, "What? You've been drinking Vitae. Do you know what you can do right now?"
Every blood is different. I mean, every Vitae is different. I, usually stronger, faster. I feel...
Right,
it
did you get
coursing
any,
through me.
short question. Can you be invisible like me?
Well, let's find out who you last drank from, or whose blood you last drank. I have a list. Or should I say, I have notes. Critical success. The last Vitae that you consumed was from a Bruja. So you have a dot in celerity, which will help you dodge or evade incoming attacks quickly. And you have a dot in potence, extra strength.
From our vantage point right now, how far would the roof of this building be, and is there a place I could feasibly stand on?
If you were to scale the building, or
If
if
I
you
was
were
to
to,
jump.
like a soaring leap?
Like a soaring leap.
Within soaring leap's distance, You probably could not reach the roof of the observatory, but you could certainly reach one of the outcroppings at what would effectively be the top of the first floor.
Right, and then from there I could go up.
From then you could continue. You could continue.
Hey, you want a piggyback ride?
I just hop on your back immediately.
So your intention is to soaring leap up.
There. Yeah.
All right. Back to Katya and the figure with the outstretched hand. Force bolt versus whatever it is that this individual is doing. Katya, so you will need to make a strength and blood sorcery roll.
I'd like to surge.
Make a rouse check.
Nope. 3 hunger.
Okay.
I forgot to add my...
One success. So what was the result of the rouse check that you made first?
Fail.
A fail. So you got hungrier. Your hunger increases. And you had one success. If you're willing to burn a point of willpower...
Oh, I got 2.
2 successes. If you're willing to burn a point of willpower, you can re-roll up to 3 of those dice.
Sure.
Okay? Take a point of superficial willpower damage and re-roll any 3 failed dice.
Oh my gosh.
No
Nothing.
more successes. Okay. The situation is even worse than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. You had a total of 2 successes. Whatever this individual has just done has erased those successes, reducing your roll to 0. It's as though your power has been nullified. It should work. You did all the right things, but nothing happened. Eva, you slip away from Katya's side and go over the wall.
If I see this, can I turn?
You want to change your intention? What's your intention now?
Turn and throw Zeus's Fury at the
Zeus's
attacker.
Fury. Okay. So, rouse check.
Pass.
Blood sorcery and wits. You're going to hurl 3 bolts. The roll indicates what damage you will inflict on your targets.
Just 3 regular success.
Okay, so it's 1 aggravated damage and 3 bolts. What's the target?
The hooded figure attacking.
With the outstretched hand?
Katya, yes.
Okay. The unmistakable scent of burning ozone fills the air near the observatory. You hear a crackle of radio static and someone screaming, "Ah, shit! What the hell?" The bolts arc out from your fingertips to strike. The figure screams in pain. His clothing burns, skin burns. The figure drops to its knees, still living, but badly hurt, of course.
I just want to say, turn back! You do not want this fight tonight.
One of the armored individuals retorts, "Stuff it, witch!" Jasper, soaring leap.
With Becca on my back.
You've got a
Chloe,
passive.
Archangel,
The
whatever.
Archangel on my back.
As that's happening, and are we leaping over the...
You're gonna leap over the wall and up to the, effectively what is the roof of the first floor of the observatory. Call it the pediment level.
If he's successful, may I fire my weapon as we pass over?
As you're passing over from the air,
Yeah.
yes, but the penalty will be significant. So, soaring leap.
Yes, first
Make
I would
a,
do blood surge.
You going to make a blood surge?
Yeah.
Rouse check?
Yeah. I succeed.
You succeed. You do not get hungry. Make strength and athletics.
And
Chloe, firing the pistol as you go. Let's make it, it's a light weapon, right? It's your Glock. So, exposure. Make it 6 dice. All regular, no hunger dice.
Easy.
oh yes, please.
The
And
same.
okay, that's 6 successes for my jump.
Okay.
With my
You do not drop your passenger on the way, but your feet barely maintain their balance on the edge of the pediment as you land. You actually have to fall forward and grab the stone to keep from going over backwards. Now the shot.
6 dice. Oh, 4 successes?
4 successes. You know, the bullets strike. They hit one of the armored figures. Unfortunately, they are armored, so if there is any damage, it's not really significant. It's enough to stop the figure in its tracks, maybe move it backward a few steps. It's painful, perhaps, but didn't take him down.
They're very armored.
Now let me describe what the opposing forces are doing. Whatever those vehicles are, the headlights that you can see coming over the crest of the driveway hill, the vehicles are now in the parking lot. You think there are at least 3 of them. 2 of them have boxed in the Cadillac. It would be very difficult for you to drive out from there. The other one has pulled all the way around to the other side of the observatory, the side farthest away from you. Its doors are opened and you can see in the dim light some sort of activity going on over there. Whoever's in the other 2 vehicles, these dark SUVs, aren't getting out yet. Nearest to Katya, the burned figure that opposed her has struggled to one knee and has reached out a hand again. The cloak or hood that she was wearing across her face now clearly reveals her features because a lot of it has been burned away. She's got very short, dark, curly red hair, a thin face, and wide blue eyes full of hate. Katya, what's your intention here?
I'm going to look for cover.
Going for cover. That statue is close. The one with all the famous astrologers. Probably your best bet. So you're going to move. Eva, what's your intention?
How many are right ahead of us?
How many are still right here on the in front of you? Well, if you stopped to count, you might be accurate, but at least half a dozen. And then it's including the redheaded woman.
Okay. And the redhead is reaching out towards Katya as well.
That's right.
Then I would like to try movement of the mind to fling her over the edge.
You want to try to lift her and dump her over?
Yes.
Okay, she's going to oppose that, obviously.
I'm sure.
So, that's your intention. Jasper and Chloe, once you're up there, what do you want to do next?
I want to try to get to a spot that can somewhat close to at least the top, because I know there's a dome up there, but somewhere where we could at least have some stable footing.
Several domes.
And that we are hidden from the eyes of the people down there.
So your intention is to keep going up?
Yeah.
Okay. I know what the intention of the attackers are. Katya, you move, sidestepping, ducking, weaving, getting behind cover, putting the big granite slab of the statue between you and the attackers. Eva, you're going to reach out with movement of the mind. Okay? You know the rolls to make.
Pass the hunger check. The rouse check.
The rouse check, you don't get hungrier. It's blood, sorcery, and resolve.
Five successes.
5 successes. Only 3 successes, actually. Something has happened. It's not as strong as you feel it should be. You know you did it correctly. You called upon the power of the vitae inside you and did it properly, but it's not working right. But 3 successes is still 3 successes. The figure cannot resist completely and is, instead of hurled, as you hoped, is almost dragged across the stone and grass right to the very edge of the wall, which stops her forward movement. The armored figures now act. All right, the usual stuff's not working. Light her up. There's a chattering of sub-automatic machine gun fire and automatic machine gun fire. Make a dex and athletics roll.
Does rapid reflexes play into this?
Rapid reflex. Let's make sure I do not mislead you. You suffer no penalty to your defense pool for lack of cover against firearms. Normally, they would essentially be an advantage because you have no cover because you're wide out in the open. Rapid reflexes nullifies that advantage.
You're welcome.
Great. That's no successes.
No successes at all. So they enjoy the full margin of their roll. The machine gun bullets tear into your undead flesh. You're a difficult target to miss at that point. This fills your health track with superficial damage after we have the incoming. What's left over fills the track. It's not aggravated, not yet, but any more superficial damage, another burst of half a dozen machine guns will definitely start adding up aggravated damage onto you. Once that aggravated damage track is full, of course you know what happens. Jasper, Chloe, up to the top?
Yes.
Up to the top.
We have to do something for Eva.
I can't help her. I cannot help her.
I can't help her.
I literally cannot. If everything is going to continue, I can't help her.
What does that even mean? You mean you won't help her?
I can't.
You physically cannot. You have to answer me directly. We are in a firefight.
I'm physically capable of helping her. I cannot. If I help her, she is in way more danger than if I don't help her.
I can't believe that's true. Okay, where are we going?
And I'm trying to get you as far up on this roof as possible so that you can at least be away from the gunfire. And then we'll all figure it out once we get up there.
I won't fight you.
Jumping up.
So, strength and athletics again, please.
That's 1, 2.
Difficulty is 3. Ah, you've exceeded it by 1. So, once again, not dropping your passenger, you reach the topmost floor or level of the observatory. Now from here, you have an excellent view. You're on top of the Griffith Observatory. Arguably, you enjoy the best view in Los Angeles, but you don't have time to marvel at the beauty of the glittering valley below you. What you see is you see that red mist boiling, moving slowly, creeping across the ground upward, which, is that possible? Can mist travel upwards at an incline? It's reached the observatory level and it's beginning to send its red tendrils over the lip of the concrete wall. It will be upon Eva and Katya very, very soon. You can see, of course, the figures who are shooting at Eva below you. The individual who was thrown against the wall has begun to claw her way up and rest her arms on top of it, trying to get to her feet. In the parking lot, you see the 2 SUVs that have boxed in Katya's Cadillac and the SUV that didn't approach. Something else is going on over there. There are figures moving around it. They don't look armored. One of them seems to be talking on a cell phone, and 2 more seem to be trying to pull out something from the back of the SUV. It looks like it might be in a big golf bag or duffel bag. It's a piece of equipment for sure.
I have no idea what's happening. Okay. I know back towards, like where the roundabout is, where you get to the front of the observatory. There is woods back there. The rest of the park is back there.
Yeah, that's Griffith Park.
Is
You
any
can
of the
get to
mist
it.
coming through that way?
It's not coming from that direction. It's only coming up the hill at this time.
Okay. Okay.
But we have to get across the whole parking lot?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking right at us.
Yeah. So, the only thing I can think of is for you to stay up here for a bit and I lead them away. And you'll just have to get down somehow by yourself.
Can you protect yourself if they start shooting machine gun fire?
As soon as they can't see me, as soon as they lose sight of me, I will disappear. So if you can just stay up here and be quiet for a bit, and just don't say anything.
I hate this with every fiber of my being, but I don't have a choice.
You don't. There's really nothing you can do. Otherwise, they take you, and I have no idea what they're gonna do. So you stay here, okay?
Yeah, I'll stay here.
Okay.
You just help them if you can.
I will. It's gonna be okay.
If I see they're not looking, I'm running for that hill.
Okay. That's the rest of Griffith Park. You can lose them in there. I fling myself off the roof towards those woods into the parking lot, and as I'm falling, I yell at the 2 of them, "Run, you idiots!"
Possibly sound medical advice.
And then as soon as I land, I start booking it towards the thing. And as soon as I get into the trees, I'm gonna activate unseen passage.
It's a lot of actions at once, but
They'll happen in
the intention
is to do
is
that.
clear.
Yes.
Chloe, what's your intention stuck on top of Griffith Observatory with no way down, surrounded by hostile forces?
I want to get as close as I can to the SUV on its own, but while staying completely down flat on the top of the building. And I want to see if I can identify the person on the cell phone.
Got it.
And I am lining up my pistol
With that individual?
at that individual.
Okay, I understand your intention. We'll come back to your action in a moment. I will let you know that at the moment, they're not worried about you.
I just watch.
Katya, from behind the cover of the statue.
I'm looking at Eva. I'm looking at her get shot. And I hear him say, "Run, you idiots." And I turn to Eva and I say, "Go! Go!" And then I look at Chloe. I use theft of vitae.
Can she see her from where she is?
Anyone who's looking at her can
Okay.
see her. It's a pretty easy sight.
Damn.
And am I in the middle of this? Like, if Katya's hidden behind cover and Chloe's up on the roof, like, am I between them in placement or no? Or on the ground?
You're on the ground, full of machine gun bullets. So, theft of vitae. Make a rouse check.
Pass.
Roll wits and blood sorcery. Chloe. Roll 4 dice.
Four.
4.
4.
Tie. Not a great night for Katya. There was no rouse check, no blood surge on the roll. So, still hungry, the vitae does not come to you.
I'm gonna back up behind the arch of the dome so that I'm not in Katya's
You want to
field.
try to get cover between you and Katya?
Now I do.
Let's hold that thought. Eva? I will note that you do have other targets. Katya.
How close Are the team approaching me?
They're within 10 yards at least now. A few moments away.
Is a reasonable distance of where I could toss a napalm grenade?
Yes. You might also suffer the Rotschreck, the red fear, from the fiery explosion and find yourself in a frenzy. You probably will not be burned.
My intention would be to use movement of the mind on myself to rise up and throw the grenade.
They might shoot you when you do, but you can certainly do it.
I'm just trying to make my way out.
Jasper, at this point, you have hit the ground, and you are making your way as fast as you can for the tree line that defines the border between the observatory grounds and Griffith Park proper.
And I'm running my mouth the entire way of, if you want it, you're gonna have to follow me.
Answering fire from the SUV, the two individuals who are wrestling the duffel bag pull out small arms, pistols, 9mm probably, and fire at you. You're running.
And I have rapid reflexes.
It's too dark and the distance is too great and you are moving. They had no successes on the roll. You don't even need to roll to dodge. So the shots ring out. Bits of sod, dirt, kick up near your feet, but they don't touch you.
Are any of them following me?
Well, if you stop long enough to look, you'll find out.
I glance back over my shoulder as I'm running.
They don't appear to be leaving the SUV. Chloe, you've maneuvered around the edge of the dome so that you're not in Katya's line of sight, and you're trying to get a bead on the individual on the phone. You don't recognize this individual. He looks like he might be in his mid-40s. He's got very close cropped hair, possibly a military cut. He's wearing a dark turtleneck sweater and some sort of dark overcoat. He doesn't look like he's a soldier per se. He's not uniformed and he's not armored. And he's talking on a cell phone while he's surveying the battle scene.
Does anything give me Second Inquisition vibes?
Well, you were a prisoner for a time of certain forces that were part of that coalition. What you remember is, of course, a little unclear, as you recall.
It was foggy.
But they're certainly from some sort of organization that is professional. But they're not wearing any insignia or other markings to indicate who they report to. That said, seems a safe bet.
These motherfuckers. I don't see any reason not to shoot at this guy.
Fire away.
But only if his back is turned.
You're gonna shoot him in the back.
I'm thinking back of the neck, back of the head.
Well, you can make a called shot, but that is very difficult.
Then I don't want to do that. Okay.
No, sorry.
This
No,
one?
no. You got it.
Critical success.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
two that have fancy stuff on them, so that's critical success.
That's a critical success. So was it a total of 4?
Total of 4.
A total of 4 successes. Shots ring out from your pistol, striking the figure, the unsuspecting figure, in the back. He cries out, drops his phone, goes down to his knees. That instantly attracts the attention of his 2 assistants, or whatever they are, away from Jasper. They point their pistols around, uncertain of where the shot has come from. They've completely dropped the duffel bag.
I have no intentions.
Hold that thought. Katya. The individual who wore the hood has hauled herself up. She's using the edge of the wall to prop herself up. 2 of the armored figures have rushed over to her to support her. The others are advancing on Eva. What's your intention?
I'm going to summon my own fog.
Ah. Did say it was overcast. So. Resolve and occult.
Wow. 7.
7 successes.
Yeah.
You're
7
really good at making
successes.
fog.
Oh, you. My best friend.
The result is practically Shakespearean. Now, it doesn't happen instantly. It takes time, several rounds or turns. But from the opposite direction, from the woods, where you're headed, ghostly, sickly gray-green mist begins to roll and roil and boil, moving very quickly towards the individual that Chloe shot and his assistants. It will take some time before it reaches you.
May I start running towards it?
You want to run across the parking lot towards it as part of your action. Gonna break from cover and make a break for it.
And I yell to Eva, "Go!"
Eve, you are raising yourself off the ground. Is that the case?
Pass the rouse check.
So, movement of the mind separates you from the pull of gravity, an unnatural flight.
And I would like to throw the one napalm grenade that Greg gave me towards the attackers in front of me.
The one you didn't use previously in the labyrinth.
Correct.
Grenade, why didn't I think of that?
How high do you hover before you toss it?
How much would I know about it, really?
You have no formal military training.
Yes,
but
I
you'll have to
probably
make a
am
guess.
like 10, 15 feet up.
So about as high as you could go in a turn.
Yes.
Now, I did mention that the hooded woman you burned and 2 of the soldiers are a bit separated from the group over by the wall. The 4 or 5 other soldiers who were advancing on you are separated by perhaps 20, 40 feet. It's hard to count in the heat of battle, precise distances on a battlefield. But you will have to choose. You probably can't get them all.
Oh, no, yeah. The ones directly ahead of me. The ones, yeah, that would be in my eye line.
The biggest group.
Makes sense. Yes.
The biggest group. Well, let's make a dexterity and athletics roll.
One success.
The grenade leaves your fingertips, spins through the air, falls short, and bounces crazily in several directions like a pinball. Someone in the group of shoulders shouts, "What the? Grenade! Grenade! Grenade!" He actually launches himself forward, trying to get to it, to sacrifice himself before it goes off. But as Greg warned you, those fuses are instant. There is a terrible flash of white light that temporarily blinds you. There are awful shouts and screams. There is fire, the sound of people dying in great pain, and you must resist frenzy.
What the fuck is she doing?
So make a pool of all your unspent willpower and add 1/3 of your total humanity. I believe you round down, but let
Round
me
down?
double check that for you.
probably round down. Let's be real.
I mean, why should you enjoy any
Why would you
round
round
right?
up in this game?
Yes, round down.
Wait, yes, round up?
Round down.
Okay, yes. Okay,
You need 3.
I got 8.
That is an impressive display of
critical.
self-control. Other vampires who you know have faced lesser fires and completely lost it. You, however, are bathed in the light of your own handiwork, and your beast remains at bay. Jasper, your intentions have changed.
A lot. Seeing as I turn to look at the car, they're not following me. I see the I assume I see the shot go off. He gets hit. They're distracted. Then I see an explosion go off. Or then I just I pause for a second, and then I see fog coming out of the woods. So I'm not going there. I'm gonna charge right at the SUV to grab that bag
The SUV to grab the bag.
and try and get their attention a little more.
When you get there, is your hope to take the bag and run, or are you going to do something with it?
Just to take the bag and run.
To take the bag and run. Chloe, from your perch atop the observatory, what's your intention?
If I go to the back where there's the slope and the red fog is roiling upward, has it reached the bottom of the building? Like if I were to find a fire escape to get down
Would
on
you
the
have to
back.
go through it? Yeah, you'll have to go through it. It has come over the lip of the wall. Now, you do notice something curious. As the fog boils past the woman in the hood, the red-headed woman who is burned, and the soldiers, they don't react. They barely take any notice of it at all.
Jesus Christ. I put my firearm on the back of my pants and I'm gonna dip a toe in the fiery red fog pool and I'm gonna go
climb
down
down?
the fire escape. I'm hoping there's a fire escape on the back side
Of
where
course,
it can't be seen.
mandated by law, there has to be fire escapes.
So I'm going to see if, as still mostly human, I will be okay if this fog touches me.
Won't that be interesting to find out? Katya, you're running. Headed for your own fog.
I'm weaving as I run.
No one is shooting at you. All these attackers are now fully distracted in the firefight. So, when you reach the edge of your fog, which has creeped forward considerably and is practically now at the SUV with the wounded person who dropped his cell phone, what do you do there? If you step into it, you'll have significant concealment. It won't be easy to see out.
Before I step into the fog, I turn around and I want to see if, is there a large statue or figure near any of the attackers?
Several. There is a statue dedicated to Galileo, which has been dedicated only recently on the grounds. It's a large abstract thing that doesn't really look like Galileo. And there is one of those sort of cosmos wheels made of hollow bands looped around each other. Both are in the area that you're looking.
I would like to try and force bolt knock over the statue of Galileo onto the attackers.
That will require a significant number of successes. That is definitely not easy. It's very hard, at least 6. Good blood surge.
I'll surge.
Okay, make a rouse check.
Pass.
No additional hunger. So the pool is the same. Strength and blood sorcery, and you add, you'll be adding 2 dice to your pool. And you can, of course, burn more willpower to re-roll up to 3 failed dice.
I got 3.
Do you want to burn willpower and see if you can get the other 3 successes?
Yeah. I got 2.
You got 2 more successes for a total of 5? Okay. Not enough to put the statue where you want it, but enough to bring the statue down. So, the statue doesn't hit the people, it hits the SUV. Smashing its roof, part of its hood, a couple of its tires immediately lose air as they pop, collapse. That vehicle is going nowhere. Now, the individual who was shot is trying to roll away to avoid damage. The armored soldiers standing next to him cry out in alarm, can't figure out what the heck is going on, and they are going to leave their wounded comrade and run towards their fellows who are burning and in need of aid. One of them is using some sort of radio or walkie-talkie or push-to-talk device as he runs. Eva, stand and survey your handiwork a little bit more?
No, I would like to try and move myself towards... If there's cover before the fog, then behind some sort of cover, but otherwise, do I see Chloe once I start moving?
Well,
into the air?
if she was you're in the same direction that Katya was when she tried to feed on her, so I don't know. You've climbed down.
I think you
So I
might
don't
have
think,
seen the moment when my head dips on the back going down the ladder to the fire escape.
Okay.
The only safety from the red fog or the red mist is to move away from it.
Yeah, I'm going to move towards, like I said, either if there's cover before the fog, Katya's fog. If there's cover before that, I would stop there, but otherwise I will try to make it to the fog.
Katya's fog.
Katya's.
Seems like the safest bet.
Yes. And I will do so in the air.
In the air. The 2 soldiers flanking the red-headed woman open up fire on you. Bring her down! Bring her down!
Like I say, I try to go as high as I can in the process.
Probably not high enough to
no.
dodge bullets.
No,
and
no.
of course we know it doesn't move very quickly.
Yeah.
Can't dodge while you're flying. You're impaired because your track is full. You're going to take 2 aggravated points of damage from, superficial points of damage from the incoming automatic weapons fire. So that means 2 of the superficial damages on your track convert to aggravated. You have started down the path to torpor.
Yep. Okay.
But you are moving. The woman grimacing through the pain, the lightning that you burned her with, gestures towards you. You can see that it is causing her considerable effort.
Can I ask how much distance there is between me and the
Better to ask me, if I wanted to do something, would there be enough space?
Sure, it's more that, is what I'm doing obviously not going to get me into cover in a
Before they bring you down?
reasonable amount of
Well,
time?
the fog has continued forward.
To move as well, okay.
Rolling and boiling along. You think you'll make it there very quickly. I would say in game terms, in this turn.
Sure.
At the end of this turn. Make a resolve and a cult roll.
3 successes.
You beat the 2 she rolled. So, it's like that moment when you're in an airplane and there's a sudden turbulence that unexpectedly jars you. The plane shakes and drops. You felt your power dissipate or nullify for a moment. You drop several feet, but you catch yourself before you hit the ground. Whatever she is, whatever power this is, obviously incredibly dangerous to vampires. And then you're in the fog. Jasper, you're at the SUV. You are, of course, now surrounded by fog as well.
Yeah.
Hard to see more than a few feet ahead of you.
So I'm running towards the front of the SUV is facing where I was running.
Remember this big old statue of Galileo
fell on.
crushing it too.
Great. So, and there's the guy who got shot laying on the right side of the vehicle, I believe. Great. I'm still running that way. I'm still going to grab the bag. If I see the cell phone that he was holding, I want to grab that as well.
You want to take his cell
I
phone.
want to take his cell phone.
You got a moment. Are you stopping to look and make a thorough search? Or is
As
it just a
I'm
glance?
running, if I can catch it as I'm running and scoop it off the ground, then yes.
Well, making a wits and awareness to see if you can notice it. Maybe you can spot its glowing screen through the fog.
I'm going to burn a willpower. 3.
3. That's a moderate success. You practically step on it.
Okay. I'm going to try and scoop it up while I'm running and continue for the bag.
You want to take the phone with you. So you're still going for that bag.
Yeah.
Chloe, you've descended.
Before I do, when I hear the SUV get smashed and I'm holding onto the ladder, I just, come on! That was gonna be my escape! New plan. And I reach the bottom.
So, your feet disappear into the red mist. And you hear all around you faint howls, cries, screams, wails. Wails of lost souls, perhaps. But you don't feel any different.
Oh, God, that's lucky. I was going to head around the building towards the guy I shot and that SUV. But the other 2 SUVs, there's still people in them that were blocking in the Cadillac.
You really weren't paying attention when you were crawling down the backside of the building, so you don't know.
I think I'm gonna go. Would it be closer to go around the other side if I were trying to get to Katya's Cadillac?
It might be, yeah. The problem here now is that the red mist is meeting Katya's mist, and it's very hard to see anything at all clearly now.
I'm gonna use that as cover and stay low inside the red mist as I go back towards where the main fight had been taking place because I want to go for the Cadillac.
You want to go for the car. Katya, from your cover and visual protection of the fog, what would you like to do?
I'm just heading deeper into the fog, towards the forest.
Yes. Eva?
Once I'm in the cover of the fog, I'd like to activate Unseen Passage.
Giving yourself an additional layer of obscurity. Is that what I understand?
Yes. But I'll keep moving if the red fog is, mixing in and moving towards us still.
Make a rouse check.
Pass.
Jasper.
Yeah.
Get this big black duffel bag.
I could use prowess if I need to pick it up by myself.
Make a wits and awareness roll.
That is a messy critical, but So that's a total of 5 successes.
5 successes, but messy critical.
My brain bleeds. I don't know.
No, but you do suffer the compulsion of your clan. You must know. You absolutely must know.
I stop running, I duck down, I unzip the bag.
Unzip it. The wits and awareness roll was for the soldiers who were approaching from the other vehicles. Stop! Put it down!
Do I know what it is?
You've unzipped it. It looks like nothing so much as a medieval mace. It's huge and metal and heavy, and it's inscribed with the symbol of a cross.
Okay.
Said drop it. Okay, light him up.
So I grab the handle of it, and it's still in the bag. I just swing it around to clock whoever's behind me.
Throw it at him, or are you gonna try
If
to
I'm
hold
close enough to just smash him with it, then
you want to hit him with it.
Yeah, I want to hit him with it.
But you don't want to take it out of the bag.
No, well, there's not time. Unless it slides out of the bag on its own, I'm not taking it out of the bag.
So, gunfire versus bagged mace. Not a fight you see every day.
No.
Okay. They will fire their weapons, and you will be rolling. It's a melee attack, obviously.
Got it.
Yeah.
That is 1, 2. That's 6 successes.
Same for them. Okay. So, you clock one of them with the heavy object. You hear the very satisfying sound of a skull being crushed inside a helmet, and the helmet denting. Whatever this thing is, very effective bludgeoning weapon.
I just say, no, you drop it.
Well, the hail of gunfire that meets you might have other ideas. So, having the incoming, you have no fortitude.
No, but I do have rapid reflexes.
You do have rapid reflexes. Margin is, well, yeah, minor action. So we'll have the incoming damage, which is double the roll. So that's 6 superficial.
That fills my track.
Fills your track. Does it fill it full, or is it 1 extra?
I have a total of 6
6
empty spaces.
So you too have been here before. As the bullets tear into your flesh, you recognize the almost familiar sensation of being ready to start down the dark path.
This is nothing new to me.
Chloe, by the time you reach the Cadillac, you notice that the 2 SUVs flanking it are empty. Wherever those soldiers are, they're around here somewhere. Behind you, you can hear voices, but it's muffled by the fog and the mist. It's coming from the direction of the, whatever Eva did with that explosive, somewhere over there.
I go towards the SUV that's pointing towards where the duffel bag and that guy had been. Because if the other side of the field is being taken care of, I want to finish what I started with the guy with the phone and his 2 soldiers. So I want to take the SUV closest there if it has keys and is unlocked.
It's an electric starter, but you don't have the corresponding key fob.
I'd jump at the other SUV and check that one.
I'm afraid that the latest in automotive technology requires you to actually own the car to start it. Cadillac, you can get out, but not without damaging it.
Oh, yeah, no, this is going over the curb for sure. I mean, the lawn is not going to stop me.
I don't know. I'm not sure Katya would have left her keys.
Why would I leave my keys in my car?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I want to try and hotwire this thing.
All right.
I mean...
3 dice.
My dad was a mechanic. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. Famous mechanic.
Need all 3 successes.
Cool. That's not... Just 1.
Can she
She can spend superficial willpower to re-roll failures.
What's the ratio there?
1 point of willpower for up to 3 failed dice.
So, like, maybe I could spend another willpower?
Want to try again?
Yes!
You can do that.
Listen here.
Doesn't
Everything
leave you
Dad's
with much
talking in.
willpower left.
Why don't I pay more attention?
Almost none, in fact.
What? Okay.
The engine sputters, sparks, roars to life. Watching all those action-adventure films apparently has paid off.
Katya can hear.
You can hear the starting of a motor. It's
Oh, that's my car.
Probably your car. Yeah. You might know the sound of your own engine, although, again, the fog is muffling things and sounds are confusing in that kind of atmospheric phenomenon.
Yeah, I definitely ripped the panel down unceremoniously and, like, pulled through a bunch of wires that weren't important to get to the good ones.
Of course,
Katya's gonna love
causing as much damage as possible.
Yeah. And then if there's a drink in the cup holder, I spill it. Never mind, it would just be blood. And I want to go up over the curb, take a big arcing loop towards where I had seen the other SUV and the cell phone guy and 2 people. Before if I don't
Remember,
see anybody that
surrounded by fog, the headlights only illuminate a few feet in front of you. You can aim the car where you think you want to go, but you cannot see it.
yeah, don't hit the building, don't hit the building.
Okay, so abandoning your vindictive attempt to trash the interior, you gun the motor and take off in the direction that you hope is what you want.
Yeah, like a big looping arc and then try and go down the hill towards
In
the exit.
heavy mist, in a parking lot, statues, and of course,
Yeah,
what could go wrong?
what could go wrong?
Katya, are you still intent on making the tactical retreat?
I'm calling for Eva as I run, though.
Calling out her name?
Yes.
Eva, you are also in the fog and you can hear Katya's voice calling your name.
Is Jasper in the fog? Where?
How would you know?
Well, I suppose I was going to ask if I saw the gunfire or anything.
No, you're moving into the fog. And If you want to stop, turn around, and look back the way you came once you're in there, you can do that. You can hear sounds of gunfire, of course. You can hear a car motor, but I want to stress how little visibility you have. It's night, and you're surrounded by fog.
Yes. So I've already passed unseen passage. I would like to stop and look around and see. Oh gosh, what would be the heightened senses does not seem like a good idea in the firefight. But
I believe you choose the sense you want to heighten.
oh,
Am I correct?
could I choose
that again.
could I choose the sense that I heighten with heightened senses? Is that
You want to try to penetrate it with your eyesight?
eyesight? Yes, I would like. Would I know whether sense the unseen or heightened senses would be more effective in, say,
I mean,
no?
sense the unseen is useless here.
Okay.
That is specifically for supernatural purposes.
Then heightened
Heightened
senses.
senses essentially gives you the benefit of your aspects to your perception rolls.
Okay. Then I will use heightened senses and
are you
try and
trying to
see
do?
if I can locate where Jasper might be.
Roll wits and resolve.
And you said to add aspects or no? For the heightened senses.
Add your dots and aspects to the roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
3, but I'll burn a willpower.
All right. I'm trying to figure out what specifically you are trying to listen for. You don't hear Jasper's voice.
Can it be eyesight though?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nope, just 3.
Just 3.
If and, you know, depending on the difficulty, there is a bestial failure if that's like an overall failure.
Again, I stress, what exactly are you trying to find?
I'm really just trying to look for the shape of Jasper, like indistinctly, even just
Anywhere.
within the fog, I suppose, or
3
through
successes is not going to help you penetrate this thick mist, this cover that's protecting you from being torn apart by munitions.
it. Yes.
Eva, follow my voice.
Jasper? From your position, duffel bag in hand, you hear a car motor, an engine coming closer, headlights looming out of the mist.
Okay. As a callback to the very first time I was here, I'm going to land on top of the SUV.
Of the SUV. Chloe, I need you to make a driving check to avoid doing what you're about to do, which is plow right into the SUV in front of you.
It's a Cadillac this time.
5
You
dice.
jumping on the non-moving?
On top to land on the roof
Oh, got
of
it.
your car.
Of mine. Okay. Yeah.
That I don't
Cadillac.
know you're in, but it's going somewhere.
Okay. What? How many?
5 dice.
Oh, then the lucky spot. Okay. 3 success.
3 successes. You slam on the brakes. The front of the Cadillac does hit the statue that is toppled onto the SUV, causing damage to the front grille and the hood. It's probably still drivable, but you don't hit Jasper.
Throw it in reverse.
My strength and athletics to get on top of the roof was 9.
So you're up on top of the roof, standing next to the statue that crushed it.
On the car that hit that was coming towards me. I want to get up.
Onto the Cadillac.
Yeah, onto the Cadillac.
So, Jasper has leaped on top of the Cadillac that has smashed the statue.
I'd like to just put my fist through the roof to hold myself there.
It is at this point in the fight that the red mist and the white mist have begun to intermingle and have reached your part of the observatory. Jasper, your ears are filled with those screams that you heard earlier, the howls of pain and anguish, the lost cries of penitent souls, and the red mist burns you.
Drive!
2 aggravated damage.
Okay.
You're throwing it in reverse and
Going for the
trying to
2
peel
point.
out of there?
Yeah. I'm using where I saw the SUV to be in relation to the driveway out as my anchor point, throwing it in reverse as fast as I can, and then taking off again.
Taken off.
You could get in, you psycho!
Katya, you hear voices in the fog. Behind you, as you glance back, you see dim shapes using high-powered flashlights that are absolutely useless in the mist that you've conjured. And you hear voices. We're never going to find him in this. Yeah, I know. This is why we never do night raids. God, what were they thinking? You want to leave him behind?
Can I tell if they are in tactical gear?
If you slow down and wait, by the time they were close enough for you to see, they could also see you if you want to wait that long.
I'm looking for Eva. I'm trying to call out to her. I can't find her. I see these 2 behind me. I turn, and I once again summon wind to see if I can clear the fog and knock them over.
Resolve an occult.
Do I have to rouse?
Do you have to rouse check? Let's see here. It's blood sorcery, so yes.
Yeah. Fail.
Fail.
I'm at 4.
You hear Strauss's voice inside your head. I am very disappointed. This is pointless. Just eat them and be gone. Abandon your child and give in to your hunger. So you get hungrier. Make the roll.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6.
6 is enough. So you summon forth a gust of strong winds out of the night sky, pushes away the mist in a circle radiating from you at its center, spreads out, smashes into the 2 individuals who were trying to find you with high-powered flashlights. One in tactical armor, one only in fatigues. They go stumbling away from you like tumbleweeds. You catch a sight of something red in the mist, a glimpse of red and white.
Oh, I'm unseen, unfortunately.
The Weather Witch does not see the individual who is unseen because you're not using a power that will pierce it.
I scream of his name. Eva! And I turn and continue my escape. I run deeper into the woods.
Eva, when you can't find Jasper, what do you do?
I just continue running and leaving. I do not run towards Katya's voice, however.
So, you and Katya are both making tactical retreats, but presumably in different directions.
Yes, into the woods where I assume I somewhat know the area well.
You have lived here in this park before. Jasper and Chloe are speeding away from the battlefield as fast as they can.
Can you roll down a window, please?
Yeah. We got power windows. It's nice.
I slide from the roof into one of the windows, carrying the bag with me.
Jasper is burned. It's not like fire, though. It's like some strange red pockmarking all over what flesh you can see is exposed. This is not a normal burn.
Just relax. We'll get you out of here.
Thank you. I'm glad it doesn't affect you. That's nice to know.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Ow. Did you ever use Nair?
Oh, terrible decision, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
it
the
feels
thing
like
in
that.
7th grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Everywhere?
Yeah.
Ugh.
With the attack thwarted, but everyone suffering damage or loss of some kind, this is an excellent and appropriate place to pause our vampire story. For now.